What's going on, guys? Josh here with Trax RC, and in today's video I'm going to be bashing the ARRMA KRATON 4S V2 here at the skate park location, but we're probably not going to spend too much time in the skate park today. I want to focus more on this area over here because I didn't a lot in the last video, and I also brought this little ramp. It's a homemade ramp. I made it like 3 years ago and I just haven't really used it. It's made out of two 2x4s, some cardboard, some duct tape, some drywall screws, and then also these two plastic ramps on each side, so it might be pretty durable. I don't know, I haven't really used it, but I was thinking about just putting it at the end of the curb or something. So yeah, that's what we're rocking with today. I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and I am just loving this truck so far. Alright, so in the last video, which was the first run of this thing, the only damages was these two front rubber retainers for the body clips. I think it's because they kept rubbing on the concrete. I think if I put the clips going that way, I think that it's gonna preserve the life of those rubber retainers because they're laying a lot more flat. These clips are so hard to get off. I think I'm gonna replace the front ones with a Trax clip because I did that on the rear and it's so easy. So I'm gonna have to do that on the front too. God, you can't even do it one-handed. Alright, oh my god, okay. So that's that. Run on 4S, of course. I'm gonna have to put a 3S in this thing at some point in the future, just because I'm kind of curious to see how fast it is. Alright. Do some little holes down the parking lot. Ooh, that shut it off. I think it came unplugged. That was a hard hit. And the battery strap came off. I think I'm done with this. Too much of a hard hit for me. I don't want to break it doing something dumb like that. I'm gonna have to get some real ramps out here. I actually own 5, but they're not with me right now. I'm kind of curious how long I could actually keep it in a wheelie. Ooh. Kind of hit the edge of the railing there. That's the biggest I jumped it. And you know what, just because I'm curious, see what the battery straps and everything is like, because I've seen videos of when people jump it really high, the chassis actually cracks. Typically it'll crack right here and also like in the front section. It doesn't crack like all the way through to where you can't use it. And the battery straps are good. Might be a little bit loose. Other than that, it does look perfectly fine still. I'm sorry if I missed the shot a little bit. I'm filming with my GoPro mounted on the bottom of my radio. And it's a new setup I'm trying to get used to, so I'm not really perfect at it yet. And I might be missing a few shots, but we're still out here. That's all that matters. Now, one of the major issues to this RC is, one, the drive shafts, which I haven't had any issues, but some people are saying that it still has the issue that the pre-production models had, where they just, where they just basically fell apart. But I haven't had that issue yet, so if I do have that issue, then I'm gonna have to come up with a little fix. But as for right now, it's okay. But another major issue is the front motor bearing. Typically likes to explode on itself. So I'm gonna see if I can find any upgraded bearings that may not do that. It's just a cheap bearing, that's why. It's not really an ARRMA issue. So yeah, the drive shafts and that motor bearing seem to be the biggest issues. Body clips, that's minor. That's the only issues I've heard about. That's fence. Ooh, we're good. little bit faster. Right on the concrete. I don't want to land on the concrete though. Check out these battery straps. Seem to be doing all right. Check out the bottom of the chassis. No cracks that I'm seeing, which is good. And I do want to quickly mention another issue with this RC, and basically all ARRMAs under 4S, so the 3S and the Megas, they have an issue where a lot of dirt collects under and in this gearbox right here. So what I did is I took it all apart. I put diff lube around the perimeter of the gearbox when I closed the two cases together, and then I also put diff lube at the bottom of the spur gear, not directly under the spur gear, just a little rectangle around the spur gear at the bottom there to kind of seal everything. Maybe it will keep stuff from getting in there. We'll see. If that doesn't work, which I don't really have high hopes that it will, I'm gonna try maybe a gasket maker. And I know a lot of people drill a hole at the bottom of the chassis right under the spur gear here. I don't really want to do that. I feel like that would just allow more debris to get in. I know people say it doesn't, but I don't know, I have my doubts. Plus, once you drill a hole in the chassis, you really can't fix that. But overall, the cons to this thing are completely outweighed by the pros. Little transition. Let's go over to the little dirt mound over there. Don't got enough power for a backflip. Whoa. Oh, what was that? Oh, we lost all drive. All right, let's take it apart, see what's going on. All right, guys, so I'm working on the Kraton here, and what I found is, first of all, that diff lube thing I was talking about really didn't work. You can see there's still a ton of sand under right where the spur gear sits, and then there's also a little bit of debris in the gearbox, but nothing's stripped out in here. I think the motor just moved, and the spur just grinds it a little bit, so I think I'm just gonna have to move the motor a little bit closer and redo the gear mesh, and I think we'll be back on our way. There is a few, I mean very minor metal shavings from the pinion gear rubbing against the spur gear. Very few metal shavings on the spur gear. Usually when I do maintenance like this on the ARRMAs, I have an old toothbrush that I use to clean everything, you know, get all the debris off the gears, get it all out from under there. And I didn't bring it with me, so hopefully I could get all this back together, because usually with all the dirt that gets in here and like these little slots, it's very hard to put everything back together without cleaning it out. So hopefully I can do it, and if we can, we're going to continue this video. So I'll put you guys back on here in a second with an update. Alright guys, so it's all fixed. One little mention that I want to make is with the metal shavings that I've spotted in the gearbox from the spur gear. I think that what happened is when the motor slid away from the spur gear, the pinion just removed some of the extra material on the spur gear, because a lot of people don't know this, but when gears are made, they're not perfectly round, and especially spur gears where people like us have to set the gear mesh manually and not have a computer do it for us because of the dimensions of like a diff case and all that. Those are set probably computer generized and stuff. Gear mesh in here is going to be set by a human, so it's not going to be perfect every time. And the reason why that's important is because with spur gears, since they're not made to a perfect circle, if the pinion gear backs away from it, it will just remove that extra material on the spur gear, if that makes sense. So now theoretically, I'm no genius or anything, but I think the spur gear should be a perfect circle now, and I did my best to clean out the gearbox full of debris. There wasn't really all too much debris, it was mainly just dust particles and stuff like that. I think I counted like 15 very small like slivers of metal, and they're all on the bottom of the gearbox. So I did my best to clean that out, but should be back in action now. So let's plug in the battery, throw in the body. Not going to be too hard on it just because the Loctite isn't completely dry on the motor screws, but we can still have a little bit of fun. All right, should be good to go. I also don't want to go in the dirt to get extra dirt in that gearbox. Jeez. That's a long one. Oh. Jeez. I don't know what's faster, this or my infraction. We're gonna have to do a drag race. See, I need to bring my BMX ramps over here to this spot. I bet I could get some pretty good air. So when I was working on this thing earlier, I think I was fixing the body clip retainers earlier today. And when I was doing that, I was just looking at things again, you know, just looking at features of the car and stuff. And the shocks caught my eye. And the reason being is because for a 1/10 scale that ARRMA markets this thing as, the shock size compared to another 1/10 scale, like my Stampede 4x4, I mean, the shocks are like twice the size. God, wheelies are so much fun. I don't know why ARRMA markets this as a 1/10 scale. I mean, I guess it's because a lot of people with the 1/8 scales would probably get mad that this thing isn't 6S and doesn't have a center diff, which I don't know how I feel about the center diff, honestly. I feel like it could be good in some scenarios, but I also feel like a slipper clutch is fine. Like, as long as it's durable, I don't personally care which one it is. But some people just get pressed about when an RC has a slipper clutch and you have it running on high power. But if it holds up, like, no one cares. Like, be honest with you. I'm gonna hit the Jeep or the curb. I know if I hit my Jeep, I'm just gonna hit the tire. Might be getting new tires soon, which is kind of cool. Get rid of the all-terrains. If you guys want to see Jeep content, I'll put a link to my other channel in the description. I post Jeep off-roading stuff. It's a smaller channel, but sometimes I like it more than the RC channel. Oh, I hit the sewer. When it starts rocking back and forth like that, you know, I'm surprised it doesn't just fall over. This thing's so much fun. I'm super happy with it so far. Like, look at that. I was midway through the throttle and was able to pick it up in a wheelie. So guys, I think that's really gonna be it for this video. I'm loving this thing. I don't know why the steering got stuck to the right there. I wasn't even turning. I wonder if the servo's on its way out because I was having steering issues earlier. But anyway guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more Kraton 4S V2 content, hit a like on this video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of September for my 18th birthday. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video on Trax RC.
There goes a sight from my soul.